Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pecha Kucha Unpacked. Harness the power of 20 by 20 presentations. My name is Deena Pardon, and I am a digital learning specialist for Pitt County Schools. I am starting my third year in this position, but I am a former fourth grade math and science teacher for 18 years. I am married to a brewer, and we have a 5-year-old daughter who is just starting kindergarten this year. NC Bold would like to take a moment just for you to be able to read over our third party tools disclaimer, which basically just says that you need to follow your district's policies and consult with your technology department before allowing students to use any type of digital tools. You may pause the video here to read over this. As you know, North Carolina also switched to the ISTE standards a few years ago for our digital learning competencies. So you may also pause the video now so that you can read over how today's session meets the educators, educational leaders, and coaching competencies. So the purpose of this session is for you to learn through experience about what a Pecha Kucha is, and we're going to have some hands-on activities and some collaborative discussions for you to be able to learn about what a Pecha Kucha is and how you can use this in your position. Ultimately, I want you to leave the session today having knowledge and confidence to elevate your presentation skills and become masters of the Pecha Kucha format. And hopefully you'll have some strategies and ideas for how you can take this back to your position immediately. If you are somebody who likes to take notes, we do have a think sheet here. If you click on the image of the think sheet, it will take you to a forced copy for you to be able to jot down notes while we are going through the presentation. So let's go ahead and get started because we know PowerPoint is boring and we are not doing PowerPoint today. If you will, you can type in the bit.ly here and this will take you to our presentation about Pecha Kucha. So our ultimate goals for today is for you to learn what a Pecha Kucha is, experience a Pecha Kucha presentation, learn a little bit more about it, have some time to create a Pecha Kucha, and then brainstorm some ideas how to use this in your position. So Pecha Kucha is Japanese for chit chat, and Pecha Kucha is a rapid fire presentation party. The basic format is you have 20 slides and 20 seconds to present about each slide. Each slide should have minimal to no text, and it's really about the images. So it's all about being quick, creative, and getting to the point. So for you to be able to see what a Pecha Kucha is all about. If you click here on, hey, now you're an all-star, this will take you to a video of me doing a condensed version of a Pecha Kucha. Because since a full Pecha Kucha is really 20 slides, it really takes a little over 8 minutes to present a full presentation. And for time purposes, I did a shortened version of it, and this will be something we'll talk about a little bit later as well. So I'm going to allow you to pause the video here, go ahead, and you should have this presentation pulled up from the bit.ly on a previous slide, and you can click and watch an example of a Pecha Kucha. Welcome back. So hopefully you noticed some things while I was doing that example Pecha Kucha of things that you typically would and would not do in a Pecha Kucha. So the main do's are you want to always start with a focused topic. If you're too broad, it's going to be hard to condense it down to that 20 slides. Storyboarding is a fantastic way to be able to put all your thoughts together because you can say, here's my 20 slides. On slide 1, I want to talk about this information, and then I can come up with an image that will match that information and go from there. It's all about visually engaging slides. You want the audience to pay attention to what you are saying and not trying to read what's behind you. Hence the fact that we don't do a lot of text on there and we focus on the image. Another thing when it comes to Pecha Kuchas, it's all about practicing and timing yourself because the slides will be set to automatically transition after 20 seconds. So you're not holding a clicker, it's just going. It's that rapid fire part of it. So you do need to practice because some people say, oh, 20 seconds? 20 seconds takes no time at all. When other times, 20 seconds goes a lot faster than you think it will. So you really want to practice it. And because of that, when you're doing a true Pecha Kucha, you also would not have note cards or anything because it's about knowing your content. How often do we sit through presentations where somebody literally just has a screen behind them and they are reading verbatim, hence your death by PowerPoint? This is the complete opposite. This is quick, to the point, and knowing your content. So on our things that we want to avoid, definitely avoid slides with text. It's not that you can't have any text at all. We just want very minimal text. If you notice with my example, I only had the person's name up there so that way you'd remember who I was talking about for our Education All-Stars. We definitely do not want bullet points because this is not death by PowerPoint. We are not just reading information, we are presenting information. You want to avoid rushing because the people are having to listen to you. And you want to avoid transitions because that takes time when you have things flying and moving around from your 20 seconds up there. So, we're going to also talk about some of the benefits of a Pecha Kucha. So again, it's concise and focused. This is not somebody up there for 20, 30, 45 minutes just going on and on and on. You literally get about 8 minutes to the point, move on. It's going to improve presentation skills. We know this is something that a lot of people are lacking these days. COVID really kind of took away being able to do things group and collaboratively because we moved online. So this is a great way to get back up there and present your information and present yourself. We know a lot of high school students, they're going on job interviews and they've got to be able to present themselves in a positive way. It's very visual, very multimedia, so it keeps you engaged because you're focused on what the person is saying and what the image is as opposed to trying to read and take notes. As a result of that, it's going to increase your engagement and attention because you can't be focusing on something else. You've got to go because the slides are going so fast. It's all about creativity and design skills. Time management, again, it's that 20 seconds. You have to make sure you know what to say and make sure it fits during that 20 seconds. This can also be collaborative here. It doesn't have to be an independent presentation. You could have students working in 2s, 3s, or however many numbers, and they split up. I get these 5 slides. I get these 5 slides. So they also have to be able to work in a group to make sure their timing and their information flows well together. And it's reflective because, again, it's all about knowing your content and making sure it can fit in that information. So now I'm going to give you a chance to create again, mini version of a Pecha Kucha. So here are some topics to choose from. My favorite things: introduce yourself. A lot of people like to go with this one because it's easy to talk about yourself and you don't have to do a lot of research on it, hopefully. Hidden gems, highlighting some underrated books. If you're somebody who's an avid reader and you just really want to get out there, or maybe you're somebody who really likes movies, some movies you think people need to watch, highlight some of those. My playlist, maybe you're somebody who's really into music, a soundtrack of your life here. Again, you're not playing the music, but you're discussing how that song fits into your life and is meaningful to you. Your teaching heroes, inspirational educators. This is kind of the one that I went a little bit with our Education All-Stars you should be following. And then maybe life hacks I swear by, things to help people get through life day to day. These are just suggestions. These are not required for you to do these. If there's something else you are interested in doing as well, you can pick a different topic. So for this, again, we're going to do a modified version. I'm only asking for you to practice making 5 slides and then doing the 20 seconds by each. So there are Google slide directions and there are Canva directions. So those of you who are Canva users, this should be real easy for you. And Canva makes it super easy to also set a 20-second timer. I will say Google Slides does have a little caveat to it where when you're wanting to do that, it does not give you 20 seconds for auto advancing slides. So here is a little workaround. We're going to double the slides. So if you were doing a true presentation, instead of 20 slides, you would be doing 40 slides. And what you would be doing is repeating the same image. So you're not doing double the work. You could go ahead and make your 20 slides and then just double slide 1, double slide 2, and so on. So then when you go to present, instead of 20 seconds, because it's not an option, you can see we got 10, we have 15, we have 30, but it doesn't go to 20. You're going to tell it to loop and autoplay every 10 seconds, and no one will ever know you doubled the slides because it's in present mode. So just a little kind of disclaimer about if you're a Google slide. And I know for students, a lot of times that's easier. So I'm going to have you pause the video now and go ahead and take some time and practice making a Pecha Kucha. Welcome back. Hopefully you had fun playing with images and coming up with ideas. If you are interested in sharing your Pecha Kucha, if you click on this link right here, this is going to take you to a Google Doc where these are the topics. And if you chose a different topic, you can just still put it in one of the blocks here. But if you'll just put a link to your presentation, or if you decided to practice it and screen record yourself doing your presentation, if you'll just add that in here, and we can kind of share out where people were practicing and then their ideas and just learn about each other a little bit here. So if you need to pause the video to do that, you can do that now. So now that we've learned and played a little bit with what a Pecha Kucha is, now let's kind of think about how a Pecha Kucha could be used for PD or in the classroom, depending on what your position is. So on this slide right here, there is an article linked, the 7-Minute Professional Development. So it is about professional development, but it has ideas in it that can be related to the classroom if you're somebody who's in the classroom. So I want you to pause the video and take just a couple minutes and read this article and think about how you could use some ideas in there for presenting PD, sharing information, or in the classroom. So if you'll go ahead and pause now. Welcome back. So now that you've had time to read over the article, hopefully you had some ideas kind of popping in your head. So since we're not together, I do have a collaborative T-chart. So if you click here on the link where it says fill in the T-chart, this will take you to a Google Doc where if you had any ideas about how a Pecha Kucha could be used for PD if you're somebody who prints PD, or for classroom activities if you're in the classroom. And because we know sharing is caring, so the more ideas we can brainstorm and share, the better there is. And you can always come back and periodically check this and see if others' ideas have been added. Again, gallery walk, this is where you could always just go back and check that T-chart at a later time. So some other ideas, if you hadn't come up with these yet, for ideas for PD or sharing information. A teacher toolbox. How often do we have tons of resources in the start of the year and we forget about them? Quick way at a staff meeting just to go back there and say, hey, don't forget, here's a list of resources and strategies and things that you have available to you that you may have forgotten about. If you need more information, come check with me later, kind of thing. Assessment strategy ideas, cultivating growth mindset, some lesson planning ideas, training and PD opportunities, obviously not doing the actual PD, but telling others what some training and PD is available. Some employee recognition and appreciation at a staff meeting, quick way to do some shout outs about things that are going on positive in your school or in your office. And maybe some wellness and health, some little SEL ideas in there. For the classroom, Each of these are just our main core subjects. These are not broken down by grade level. These are some kind of generic ideas that could go into any grade level. But if you click on the links, for example, math, this will come up with a Google Doc here where it's just got some ideas of how you can incorporate a Pecha Kucha into a math lesson. So for example here, math and data analysis. Conduct a survey or collect data on a topic and then present the data using graphs, charts, or infographics and explain the mathematical concepts. So the students are having to do the actual math skill and then showing their knowledge through the presentation portion of it, because it's all about the graphs, it's all about the charts, it's those visuals, and they're just explaining what's in those visuals. So again, if you click on any of these, it will take you to different topic ideas. So again, since we know the Pecha Kucha is all about images, where can these images come from? So we want to come up with some innovative images. Well, we can definitely go techie because they can come from anywhere. Personal photos, bring in that personalized touch. But we could also pull some images from online, but something to keep in mind is we can't just go to Google and pull an image. We got to make sure they're ones that are allowed to be used. A great one to use here is Photos for Class, which actually has now joined with Storyboard for that. What's great about Photos for Class? Millions of free and safe Creative Commons licensed photos. These are ones that are allowed to be used. And as a bonus, it will also cite where the images came from as well. Some other options are your Pix for Learning, Pixabay, or we know AI is the big buzzword. You can also have some AI generated images. Canva is a great way to do this. Crayon is one that's good for elementary school. I'm sure a lot of people have some other ideas. You are welcome to throw those on any of the collaborative Google Docs that have been in this presentation. Non-tech is another great way to do this. Kids could draw the images themselves. Think about how artistic some of our kids are and they never get to express themselves. Or we could go old school 1980s collages, magazines, newspapers, whatever it takes to come up with an image. It doesn't have to be something that was pulled from the internet. So, any final thoughts, ideas, or takeaways, you are welcome to share those on any collaborative docs. Hopefully you have some ideas and strategies that you can take back to your position. If you click here, we do have an emoji exit ticket. This will take you to a Fig Jam, since we know Jamboard is going away. So you can just drag one of these images and just let me know kind of how you're feeling about Pecha Kucha. Again, we have the ISTE standards that you can just review over again. And if you want to dig in a little deeper, if you click on any of these images, it will take you to some helpful articles that gives you just more information about what Pecha Kucha is, tips and ideas for using them in the classroom. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you are inspired to take Pecha Kucha back to your classroom and start either you using it or having your students using it. Thank you.